Is this it? Is this how it ends? All this struggle, all those strange dreams, for nothing. Funny how falling along with the pouring rain makes time feel like a slow drizzle. Roman, what will he do now? What will he do without me? Without the blade? What happened at the ceremony? What happened to Rudolph? And what will happen to Esmeralda? I'll never know. I'm about to be just another dead half-orc. Was this truly what the Count wanted? His plaything lost in a storm? Huh? Imagine him whining like a child who lost his toy in the rain, with an axe in the head. This is Red Moon Role-Playing.
The wind howls and the rain pelts down upon you, Roman, as you lean across, looking down into the void below. You are not sure how to react. One moment he was holding your hand, and the next he was swept away in the storm. You can see nothing now other than the dark all around you, a little bit of light coming from your light spell, and just to your right, laughter and mockery coming from within the tower you've just left. To your left, on the other hand, is the other end of the bridge. Another tower ascends just a little above that one, and this bridge leads into a sort of landing area where you can just about see some stairs going down. What do you do, Roman?
Don't leave me, Roshek. I look down, I try to see, but I guess I see nothing. Yes?
Indeed, there's too much wind and rain. You are still struggling to keep yourself upright. Granted, right now you're sprawled, which does seem to make it a little easier. But this is not the place to be worrying about that sort of thing.
But there was a stair down, yes? Was it on the other side? If I cross the bridge, can I go down? Maybe I can find him there.
Yes, you can reach that stairway. Again, laughter, mockery. The sounds of voices saying, "Well, priest, another one lost for you."
I try to ignore it. I try to just close my ears to it. He is not... I will find him. I will not let him be lost, because if he is lost, then... I cannot think that. No. I make my way across the bridge and try to get to the stairwell, try to get down.
It is quite a struggle, but crawling, you manage to make it. You are very aware that pursuit could be coming at any moment, but when you look, you can't see anything following you over the bridge at this moment, but again, it is very hard to see. Another lightning strike illuminates the area, and yes, there is nothing coming over the bridge, but you can see the stairway going down into some shelter, some cover. What do you do?
I do not want anyone following us. I need to buy myself some time here. They're just behind us, so I start casting my Guardian of Faith. I wish to call forth this guardian of Lathander to help hold the bridge should anyone follow.
And your guardian comes forth, gleaming in the otherwise dark of the night. He stands resolute, perfectly guarding the bridge.
And then I make my way down the stairs. I must find Roshek.
You do. And you stumble a few steps, falling a little, rewriting yourself, and finally look around in confusion and find yourself back in a familiar corridor. This is the corridor that led to the place where you found the crystal and the abandoned rooms and that little man. You are back inside the castle, back inside this central tower.
I see. Well, where should I go? I look around. What do I see in here?
Nothing except silence, Roman. The storm outside, the light here dim. Roshek is certainly not here. Roshek. You are falling. Storm, wind, rain, lightning. For a moment, it's all you can see and feel as you fall, free fall through the air. Time seems to slow a little. What are you thinking?
I just had time to let out a gasp of surprise. For the slipping of my hand felt like something impossible. And now I'm falling and I am thinking it's about to end. Any second now I will hit the floor and it will end. There's nothing left that can save me.
Your dark vision for a moment seems to pick up something. Can you see something approaching? Yes. It's not floor, but maybe ceiling? Maybe the ceiling of the castle. How many feet? 30, 50, 60? You are definitely unsure if you will survive this, Roshek. The angle of your fall, the armor you're wearing, the injuries you've taken. This could indeed be the end.
I flail about. I try to keep holding a grip of the weapon, and I almost dropped my shield as I was using that hand for holding on to Roman. I tried to brace for the impact.
And yet the impact doesn't come. You suddenly notice that everything has stopped. Even the storm and the lightning have stopped. You can literally see moisture in front of your face, standing completely still in the air. What do?
I blink. I see the medallion of wood sort of hanging in the air where it was being gripped by the wind. And I try to look around. Can I move at all?
No. You are also frozen.
And I look at the old wooden medallion frozen in the air as if it were just in front of my face. And I remember the journey I've taken and the impossible things that tend to happen here. Maybe someone wants something more with me before this is over. Maybe this is not what he wanted me to end like. The sadistic master of the puppets.
And that's when you notice something just out of the corner of your eye. Things in the dark, moving, but you can never quite focus on any one at a time. There's always something out of sight, especially as you cannot move your head. These things, though there are many, some are small, some seem big, some seem massive. Reality seems to distort a little. Everything isn't quite how it should be. And then a little voice in your left ear just whispers, "You know." It doesn't have to end like this. Roshek, do you want it to end like this? And another voice to your right goes, no, he would not want it to end like this. Or would he? Maybe. And then laughter all around you. What do you do?
No, this is... I try to speak, and I think this is not how I would want it to end. I've just started my journey. This is not supposed to be happening.
You find you can actually speak.
And I say, who's there? Is that you, Count?
Count? Count? Count? Oh my, I'm not a count. I might have been a count. We are all counts. Or maybe not. And again, the laughter. Roshek, these are all different voices. Some feminine, some masculine, some bestial, some angelic. All around you, it started to become quite the cacophony of noise.
Maybe it's the previous ones that have come here. Maybe their spirits are the ones being kept here, I think. And I say, help me out of this.
Oh my, Roshek, of course we will help you, of course. There is nothing wrong with asking for help. We shall help you. You only need to say yes. Say, yes, help me.
Yes, help me, curse it.
Then we have a deal.
What?
Quite simple. Quite simple. Quite simple, Roshek. We have a deal. We shall help you. And well, maybe there'll be something later on, but I wouldn't worry about that for now. After all, you're about to die!
No.
No?
What now then?
Simple. We just said, say, yes, I want you to help me, and we shall help you.
And I feel the absurdity of this moment of being stuck in some sort of limbo. And I say, yes, fine, help me. And let me know what you want. Let me finish what I'm set out to do, and then let me know what you want.
And you hear a raucous amount of laughter around you from many, many voices, and a great sense of pleasure, a great sense of amusement. And you suddenly feel yourself being lifted high, and then suddenly you feel like you are hurtling, you don't know where, but somewhere, through dark and storm and rain, and you feel your wounds closing around you, and you feel all your strength returning to you, and you feel liberated and alive, and then, finally, you blink, and you are above a stairway, in a storm, just on the left-hand side of the bridge.
And I look around, and I see the place. What's... And Roman, are you there?
Roman, in your desperation, in your misery, are you hearing things? You just could have sworn you heard a voice from above calling your name.
Roshek? Where is that coming from? Is it from up the stairs?
Yes.
I'd try to rush up again. I must find him.
And you run up the stairs, running back into the storm of the night, and before you is Roshek, completely fine. Albeit wet.
I stand there dripping. My wounds seem to be whole, and I gesture towards the Guardian standing on the bridge, and I say, I thought that might have been your work.
And I just rush right up to you, and I just hug you. I just hold you. And before quickly adjusting and realizing that no, wait, taking a step back and just nodding.
I let off an awkward smile. Yeah. It's good to be alive, I guess.
But it's impossible. How can you be here? Did Lathander save you? Of course he did. Of course, yes. We were on his mission after all.
Yeah. Maybe Lathander and his pals decided that I needed a lesson in how to fly. And I put the shield back on my back. And I feel my hands, how they just feel reinvigorated and whole. I don't know, to be honest, but someone wanted me to finish what I was set out to do.
Roman, you were clearly overjoyed to see Roshik alive. There's also a lot of wind, a lot of rain. It's not that easy to see at the moment. So, do you, by any chance, give Roshik a really firm, good look over, or do you think you're happy now just to get moving?
I do, of course, make sure that he's all right. I mean, surely he fell, and I have my healing magic still. I must apply it on myself, but before then I must ensure that he's fine. But he looks to be fine, yes?
He looks absolutely fine. Every single wound has been healed, other than the rain. Totally fine, although it's perhaps a little strange, but do you remember Roshik's eye colour?
Were they grey, blue, something like that?
Well, it is hard to remember, isn't it? I mean, he's a half-orc. They do have strange eye colours, don't they? I mean, you just for a moment think, is there a little more red in his eye than there was? But maybe that was always there, Roman. Maybe you're just forgetting.
It must be that. There's so much going on. Small details like that, of course, easy to mix up. I'm just happy to see him again. And now we have a chance again. I would not have been able to make this by myself.
Indeed. So what do you two do? You are standing above this staircase, the storm raging around you. Still quite dangerous, but above the staircase is a little safer than on that open bridge, at least.
Let's make our way back inside. We have destroyed the heart, so I guess we have to find our friends now, yes? And then we take this to the end. And we meet the Count, and we end this once and for all.
But first, I think we have an appointment in the catacombs.
Yes, that is where they must be. Let us make our way there. Let's get down the stairs out of this wind and rain.
And I feel the ring, and I look for Esmeralda's presence.
Very close, directly below you, but close, and moving very rapidly.
She's on her way. Let's get downwards. I want to see what that little foolish imp has prepared for me.
And as we make it down the stairs, I begin to cure my own wounds. I am fairly badly injured, so I cast Cure Wounds, taking myself back up to full health, depleting many of the remaining spells that I have.
Indeed you do, and your wounds heal. Slowly, but surely. And you begin to make your way down the stairs. You are very familiar now of this staircase. I'm assuming for a while you just keep heading down, yes? Past the floor you were just on, then to the next floor, where there was the rug. Then moving down to the floor where the little man led you. Again down once more, to the room with the accountant. And finally you just find yourself approaching the stairway entrance that would lead to the primary floor.
That's it. I think the catacombs should be a few levels below this.
It's at this point, Roshik, that just paying attention to your ring, you suddenly feel it exactly level with you. In fact, it's coming from the north, the feeling of where she is. From the north, heading rapidly west.
And I stop in my step. Wait, she's just nearby. And I ready my sword and shield in case she has company, and I try to look towards the direction where she was supposed to be coming from.
Well, you can't quite see in that direction now, as staring north leads directly into a wall. But you could step a few steps to the east, be back in the main hallways, and maybe see better from there. What do you do?
Yeah, I lean out into the main hallway and try to look around for her.
You can see nothing presently, other than the gloom of the area, but you can hear something. There's a lot of noise coming from the north, and perhaps then the east.
I go up and I try to look for a doorway that I could take shelter behind in case she comes out and something else is following her, and I motion for Roman to come along.
I follow.
You begin making your way forwards, but remember, it's quite hard to find shelter here. You are only a few steps away from the grand hallway with the massive staircase going up, the western exit, and then the eastern hallway that, well, you poked down a little before, but didn't see much down its long hallway. As you move forward, though, you can definitely hear the sounds getting louder from that direction. What do you do?
And I get myself ready for a fight. And I try to maybe get up against a doorway towards that direction.
You move towards that big doorway leading to the east.
Yes.
Very well. Roman, what are you doing?
I follow, keeping close by.
Indeed. And just as you're about to get to that doorway, Roshek, and get yourself in position, the doors swing open, and Esmeralda and another burst through. Quickly stumbling into the area, she looks around, sees you, and simply remarks, "Run! Run, you fools!" and starts herself running towards the large staircase going up. What do you do?
If she's yelling to run, then run I shall. I move in the direction she indicates.
I hesitate for 1 second, seeing Roman rush past, then I start running as well.
And you begin to follow them. They are heading up the stairway. I say they, you can get a good look at the second figure now. He is limping a little, leaning on a stick. But it is Rudolph van Richten. And Roshek, just in case you thought to turn your gaze to look down that hallway, which I'm sure you probably did in that split second, you will see a numerous amount of skeletal beings crashing down the hallway. 10, 15, all armed with swords and shields, ramshackle-looking collections of bones just charging down after you. And behind them, you just feel you can see something moving a little faster. They look quite similar, actually, but they seem to move with a little more precision. But again, you are now running, and it's hard to tell anything as you run. You are all running up the stairways. What are you doing?
I run, and I try to keep a good tempo with the rest of them, and is there a way I could help Rudolph to move faster?
Rudolph seems to be mainly relying on Esmeralda to get up the stairway. Despite his limp, he's making quicker pace than you, it seems.
I say as we run, where are we running to?
I don't know, Roshek, just away from them.
Well, it's good to see you again.
She nods affirmatively and starts clambering up the stairs. You are now ascending this big grand staircase that you've seen many times but have yet to actually ascend. The steps are much wider than the little ones you've been going up and down, and it seems to lead up and up quite a far distance. Roman, what are you doing now?
I also look behind to see what it is, and are they catching up with us? Can we outrun them? Are we keeping that good pace?
You think you are. Actually, as you look down, you already feel you're gaining some distance from these shambling, undead skeletal beings. After all, they're not that fast. But you do now just notice, as these things start coming after you, 10, 15, maybe 20 little skeletons. There are 3 or 4 taller beings. They move with precision, they move with grace, yet a flash of lightning reveals the area for a moment, and they also look skeletal and dead. Are these perhaps whites, Roman?
Oh no. Oh no, we need to get out of here. I focused on running, then trying to get away, following the others, hopefully finding some sort of safety. We must find safety, and I don't know how, but we must regain our strength before continuing.
Indeed, you continue up the stairway. You notice that your pursuers seem to slow, but not because they are tiring, merely because it seems they are taking their time as they march up the stairs in an eerie fashion. Still, the staircase is starting to curve round a corner, and Esmeralda and Van Richten have made some progress, and finally you seem to come to the top of the stairway, coming to an area. So, these massive stairs rise to a landing, 20 feet wide by 40 feet long. Stone arches support a ceiling covered with frescoes, 20 feet overhead. The frescoes depict armoured knights on horseback, their finer features faded beyond recognition. Dust floats in the air here. At each end of the south wall, a staircase rises into darkness. Between the staircases are twin alcoves, each one containing a standing suit of armour covered with dark stains. Each suit of armour clutches a mace, the business end of which is shaped like a dragon's head. Words engraved on the arches above the suits of armour have been scratched out.
I look around and I look at the staircases. Are they both just leading upwards?
Both of them go upwards. They both also seem identical. They lead, in fact, you can see with your dark vision, to doors, double doors.
And now what?
Esmeralda takes a moment to look behind her. At this point, Van Richten speaks. The doors. Let us see what is beyond the doors. Perhaps we can make some walls. Hurry!
And I start running towards one of them then, the one he was indicating towards.
Yes, and I try to cover our backs. I'm waiting for these skeletons to catch up with us.
Very well, Roshek, you just run straight up the stairs, yes? You don't pay any attention to these statues or little alcoves they're standing in, yes?
No, I don't think I do.
You run straight upwards and collide into double doors, blocking your way. What do?
I try to push them open.
It takes some time, but they do then open, leading into quite a large chamber beyond, actually. You don't have much time to admire what's inside the chamber, though. Your attention, of course, is behind. You notice Esmeralda and Van Richten have gone up the other set of stairs, opening those doors, and they also seem to lead into the same room.
Roman, come on!
And hearing that, I rush up as well, joining my friends.
And you rush up to join them in the chamber beyond. Already, Roshek, you notice Van Richten pulling something out of his very dirty-looking, tattered leather clothing. Some sort of vial. He motions for Esmeralda to back away, and seems to be drawing some sort of circle directly on the ground in front of his doorway. Meanwhile, Roman, as you come through your doorway, where Roshek is, you can already see some of these skeletal beings starting to catch up and come towards your opening. They'll probably be here in another minute. What do?
I try to understand what it is that Van Richten is doing, and if I can help somehow. Is this a ritual or whatever it is he's doing that I am familiar with?
It looks like he's drawing some sort of circle on the ground, and he's already starting to cast something. He's saying words under his breath. The circle is starting to glow. Meanwhile, you have some skeletons rapidly approaching you. What do?
Seeing this, I must stop them. I must buy him time. I lift up my holy symbol, the rising sun of Lathander, and I unleash Turn Undead.
Indeed you do, just as 6 or 7 skeletons storm up the stairs heading to your position. You hold out your beacon of light, of holiness, and chant your words of prayer, and you feel an emanation of light burst all around you. These skeletons vaporize, scattering back, their bones falling down the stairs before you. 5, 6 instantly turned into ash. But you can see just ahead, coming around the corner, these taller beings. You're not sure this will work so well against them. However, Roshek, you now notice that Van Richten seems to finish what he was doing. There's a weird glowing sensation around his entranceway. A circle of light seems to come across the ground, like a magic circle. He then runs to your location and begins doing the same, remarking, "Quickly, quickly, just a little more time."
And I call forth the shimmering blade. I look first quickly inside the room that we're in. Are there any possible threats in here?
No, it's quite a large room. It seems empty for the moment.
Then I go down and I push Roman aside. And I stand there ready to attack anything that would try and make for Van Richten and his sort of circle of whatever it is.
These taller figures seem to move slower, but a few skeletons suddenly come forth again, charging forwards with reckless abandon. 2 or 3 of them directly upon you. Roshek, what do you do?
I start to make attacks towards them.
Indeed you do, and these creatures are no match for your blade. You smash one directly in the face, another one, but they are starting to come towards you, and you then see clearly now yourself these wights, taller than the other skeletons. They still have hair, skin, but they are no zombies. They draw forth blades. They are getting ready to attack. And just as one lunges forward to try and strike at you, you suddenly see him repelled, almost as if he has struck some sort of wall. You look down and notice that a circle has just formed right in front of you, covering the doorway. What do?
I still have my sword up, but I take a step back in towards the room, and I look at Rudolph and Richten, and I ask, how long will that last?
Rudolph takes a moment to stumble and lean against a nearby wall. An hour. They will last an hour. The skeletal beings are desperately trying to reach you, Roshek, but they cannot pass the circle. Roman, perhaps you are familiar with magic circles of warding. Now you're seeing them up close.
Yes. Indeed. I am somewhat familiar. Curious. I really hope that this will hold them back.
Can I reach through the circle? Can I reach in and can I attack them, but with that as a sort of shelter?
You think you could, but it's quite a tight area, and while you could start swinging at a few of these beings, well, you're not entirely sure that would do too much damage, maybe for the first couple, but then also there's always the risk that you could be pulled out, especially if one of them got hold of your blade, which might be difficult, of course. But again, a bit of a risk. You can, of course, try. Esmeralda, on the other hand, seems to be coming forward and immediately trying to close the doors.
I keep backing up then, and I help with that as well. And I start looking around the room, seeing for other exits or anything else that could lead somewhere.
You take a moment to help her close the door. It takes some effort, because even though they cannot cross this circle, they are trying to push on the door. But somehow you both manage to clasp the door shut. You can hear ramming and banging on both of the doors now, but those circles were positioned pretty much directly in front of the doors. They seem to be holding these things back. You can hear weird shrieking sounds coming from outside. Certainly not from the skeletons, perhaps from these other beings.
Is there anything I look around for something to further block the door with?
You take a moment now to look around your surroundings. You're in quite a large chamber. You do actually see a lot of furniture, lots of tables and chairs. You also see walls, walls that once looked like they had mirrors. However, every single one has been smashed, broken, and long since removed. You can see a few little shards of glass here and there, but otherwise the walls are bare. This is a very elaborate looking room. The ceiling is very well decorated. It looks like there were once some chandeliers here. And the only other two exits you see are at the very far end of the hall. Only, actually, there is just one, now you notice. One set of double doors leading out of this room in that direction.
Looks like some sort of ballroom, I say, as I grab a table and start propping it up against the door.
I fall on my knees and I start praying to Lathander. I close my eyes and I try to enter some form of meditative state. I must regain my powers. There's not enough time, but I must regain as much as I can.
Van Richten lets out a heavy sigh, and Esmeralda, seeing the door close, turns to you both. Right. Well, that has blocked them off for a short period of time. We have at least an hour before they break through. It gives us at least some breathing time. You two are both alive. Good.
As are you two, I see. Well done.
Yes. It was a slightly harrowing experience, but I managed to find him in the dungeons. We were surrounded for a time, but with a little bit of exiting from a torture chamber, we were able to find ourselves to a place Richter knew. And at this point, Van Richten speaks. Indeed. I found our way back to the room of the crystals. From there we were able to fight our way back up. A secret passage managed to lead us back into that hallway.
What happened after we... Well, the last thing we saw after going through the crystals was a swarm of things and you fighting. What happened?
What do you think, half-orc?
I would assume you were captured.
Yes. I managed to slay a few, but eventually I was beaten. I was taken to the cells. I had been tortured for some time, and now you have rescued me. I will not say I am not grateful, but Esmeralda, I believe you wasted your time. It would have been better sticking with them and sticking to the mission. And Esmeralda remarks, Van Richten, I don't have time for you and that. You know I was going to save you. And Van Richten just looks a bit annoyed, but just nods.
I pound my fists against my chest, and I say, I am grateful for what you did for us. I understand you kept these things at bay for us, and we made our escape out with the prize. Without you, it wouldn't have been possible.
Don't thank me too much, Roshek. Never thank me too much. However, I will admit, that was the plan. I was hoping for you lot to buy time for you, so you could get away with what was important. I didn't expect to still be alive.
I'm not sure if Esmeralda has filled you out on what happened aside from that, but we got the gem out. We restored the beacon of Argonvost Holt, and we were able to claim the prize, and I hold up the blade.
Van Richten nods. Good. Good, yes. You have what you need now to have a chance at killing the Count. But remember, this is not over yet. What we can do now is head on. Although I might need a moment to rest, but begin heading onwards. Esmeralda quickly goes to Van Richten's side. She seems concerned. Then she remarks to the others, It is good we have met up again, but I agree we should try and move forwards at least a little more. What lies ahead?
You might be interested to know that we smashed the heart of the castle, whatever that meant.
Van Richten nods. Good. Good, yes. Any tool he has, it is best to take them from him. Do not think that has won the battle, though. Far from it. But it is a good start. It is a good start.
We have also encountered several small, strange beings of this place, some of them seemingly benevolent, who, one of them actually led us to the heart. We were suspicious, of course, but that's one thing, and another spirit told me that some sort of prize was for me to help me in the catacombs.
Van Richter looks up and frowns. We do not have time for treasure hunting, Roshek. We do not have time for any distractions. All the beings in this castle are here to distract or hinder at best. Focus on your mission.
I'm not completely convinced. I'm just taking his tools and making them ours, and see that be a fairly good thing to do. Well then, and try to recover your strength a bit. I will stand guard or take a look ahead.
Roman, you notice something strange going on. It doesn't seem hostile. You don't feel the hostility, but you can see something all around these tables. Can you see people? You can. They're very faint, very shimmery, but you can definitely see people. Lots of people in this room. They all seem to be slowly coming into focus. What do you do?
I look at them. Are they some form of apparitions? Ghosts of some kind?
You think they must be? Yes. They are all dressed in the attire of nobility. Well, some nobility anyway. Fine clothes, jewels. Some of them have elven features. Some of them are human. There are quite a few of them all around the tables. You notice they all seem to be speaking to each other, very casually. You're not entirely sure anyone else has noticed this. The other three all seem quite engaged in their conversation, but you are definitely noticing this. What do you do?
I try to get the attention of whoever's closest to me. Is it Roshek, perhaps? Roshek, are you seeing what I'm seeing? There are people here, the apparitions of some kind. Do you see them?
And just as I was about to head out, I look down at you sitting there on the floor, and I look up. Do I see anything?
You do. Yes, Roshek. The entire room is filled with people, milling around tables, talking to each other, eating, although there is no food to be eaten and nothing passes into their mouths. Suddenly everyone seems to look in a direction, and then people start moving into the center of the room, in couples. What do you do?
I look on with fascination, my gaze wandering towards Van Richten, questioningly.
Van Richten for a moment looks alarmed, but then seems to relax. Esmeralda steps forward, getting her weapon ready, before remarking to you quietly, Roshek. Wait a moment. These might not be hostile apparitions. I don't think they are even aware we are here.
It's like I said. We're in some sort of ballroom, and I think they're about to dance.
And as you say that, Roshek, that is indeed what they start doing. Multiple couples twirling around, twirling back and forth to some sort of music, but you can hear, of course, no music, only the scrambling of the creatures at the doors trying to get in. Still they dance. One couple comes straight toward you, Roman, and dances straight through you. It's a strange feeling, slightly unpleasant, but not harmful.
Seeing this and feeling it pass through me, I again close my eyes and I try to connect with Lathander. And if they will not harm us, then I will let them be. There are more important things to worry about now.
Me, I have always been fascinated by nobility, knights, and things like this. I've never been in a ballroom before. I look on with fascination, thinking of how it would be if I myself was dancing in a ballroom like this, at a magnificent ball where I was part of the nobility. I was the swords master, the master knight that everyone wanted to talk to and ask for advice on their form. Yeah. And I would dance as well, and I would dine on the finest food and drink wine.
Indeed. And you watch this for some time. Esmeralda has grown impatient and is walking through the crowd, trying to investigate those doors at the far end. But you watch for a while more, Roshik. You watch long enough to see a change occur. Something has happened. 2 or 3 individuals look alarmed. And something starts tearing through the room. You cannot see what it is. It doesn't, after all, exist, in your vision anyway. But something is tearing through these people, striking them down. One couple torn asunder, a man lifted and broken in 2. 2 others, their necks suddenly breaking at strange angles, and blood spilling forth. Each time this happens, the apparitions fall and slowly fade away. It's not long before the entire room has been cleared, and then everything is silent.
Eerie. I'm a bit taken aback by this. It felt wrong and it's disturbed my fantasy. I take a moment to try to get back to the task at hand, and then I see Esmeralda and I follow after her.
Esmeralda has moved to the front of this room, or rather in this case the western part of the area, if the eastern part of the walls were where the doors were. She pushes open the doors here and reveals a small little hallway, quite elaborate looking, again quite stylish, perhaps part of the ballroom once, leading to another set of doors. These ones have glass, black glass, upon the doors, covering them quite large, these doors are. She frowns a little, nods, and starts walking back to Van Richten. Richten, it looks like perhaps the only other way out of here is through here.
I see that, and I finish up my makeshift barricade of the 2 doors, with some tables and chairs. Try to lock them in place as good as I can, and I look at them and I say, "Do you want to move on?"
Van Richten nods, makes a stand, then winces and sort of takes to a knee again. Esmeralda moves to his side and nods to Roshik. You and Roman quickly just scout ahead. It doesn't look like a very large area. We'll be right behind.
And I look to Roman, who is sitting there meditating, and I see if he is reacting to this or if he is in his own world. I won't say anything unless he does.
Roman, how are you feeling? You did see this whole display carried out, although you closed your eyes perhaps for a little of it. What are you doing now?
I tried to focus on connecting with Lathander, but it was not easy seeing that. It has taken me out of my meditation, and now hearing Esmeralda asking us to scout on ahead, I get up on my feet again, giving up on being able to regain my powers here. No, we must move. We must find a better place.
I nod and I say, well, I could go myself, but I don't know if it's a good idea.
I'm not going to lose you again, Roshik. Let's move together.
Right. And I start moving.
And you both get to this little hallway. It's not very large. It's almost clearly an adjoining corridor, obviously leading to another room beyond. You both walk in and again see these big doors ahead of you, with their black, polished glass, currently oddly unreflective. There are also a few torch sconces in the room, but they are currently out. What do? You notice behind you Esmeralda starting to pick up Van Richten, and they are starting to come behind you. What do you two do?
I look at this and I examine the glass, thinking this is interesting, and I look at Roman putting my hand on one of the doors, as if questioningly, should I go in?
I nod.
And I push it open.
It's resisting. It feels like perhaps maybe this would be easy with two people.
I take a firm grip and I try again.
You feel it resisting, but it feels, again, maybe it's a thing with the latch. Maybe forcing on one door doesn't help. You try, I imagine, to do it by yourself, taking the other door, but again, it just doesn't quite seem to be budging.
And I look at Roman. Come help me here. I don't know if it's stuck.
I move up and I, as well, push.
And as you move up to help him, you hear the doors behind you start to close. You have just enough time to notice Esmeralda looking slightly alarmed before going, Roshik, Roman, wait! And the doors slam shut behind you. What do you do?
And I let go of the door and I run back towards the other door.
You reach the doors. They are solidly closed shut. What do you do?
Hell. Another trap. Oh no. What are we supposed to do now? I try to talk through the door. Esmeralda, can you hear me?
Yes. Yes, Roshik, we can hear you, but I can't open these doors. Are you okay? Are you alright over there?
Yeah, we're fine. Seems like these other doors triggered something. I don't know. The only way seems to be forward.
You hear Van Richten call out in a slightly weaker voice.
Do not allow yourselves to be distracted. Focus. We'll be fine. Do not worry about us. We will find a way through. Just focus on yourselves.
Fine. And I turn to Roman. Let's keep pushing on.
Yes, let's.
Roman, as you say this and look to the doors, you can see something has begun to happen. There is movement in the darkness of the mirrors, that is. Swirling, nebulous things occurring on the glass itself.
I try to see what it is, what is going on here.
You step forward and have a closer look. Something is forming. You can see your reflection now. Yes, you could see your reflection staring back at you. And Roshek, you as well, can now see your reflection staring back at you in this strange, nebulous substance that seems to be inside the mirror? Or on the mirror? Hard to tell. The torches in the area have also suddenly lit, illuminating this little hallway just a bit better. What do you do?
I look around, suspicious, and the torches are suddenly lighting up. Well, what's going on?
It can't be anything good, I suppose.
Let's try to open them again, and I move up to the doors and I see my reflection there. Does it look different in any way?
Yes, it does. It's no longer you, Roshek. It's your father. And as you move toward the door, perhaps to try and push it open again, he moves forward and begins to step out of the mirror.
Oh, I step back and I hold my sword and I say, this is dark. This is dark.
And Roman, what do you do as you see this occurring?
I'm seeing this creature forming there. This must be some form of magic? I suppose. Am I aware of any spells or anything like this?
You certainly are aware of nothing like this. I mean, perhaps it is magic. It must be magic, but it is beyond a spell. In fact, as you are thinking this, you perhaps look at your own reflection. And of course, your reflection is also no longer your own. But you know your son anywhere, don't you? Slowly stepping out of the mirror. And in a few seconds, both your father, Roshek, and your son, Roman, are standing before you fully in the flesh, guarding the way.
You have listened to an episode of Red Moon Roleplaying, where we play the campaign Curse of Strahd for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. Curse of Strahd was designed by Christopher Perkins and based on the adventure Ravenloft, written by Tracy and Laura Hickman in 1983. Dungeons & Dragons is published by Wizards of the Coast. The music is created by Metatron Omega, Flowers for Body Snatchers, and Word Clock, and is used with permission from their label Cryochamber. Visit cryochamber.bandcamp.com or their YouTube channel for more tasty dark ambient. A new episode of Red Moon Roleplaying is released every Friday. Please like our Facebook page and give us feedback, comments, and input there. You can also visit us at redmoonroleplaying.com. Finally, a huge thank you to our growing base of supporters. You are truly amazing and inspire us so much to keep going with the show. If you haven't yet found us on Patreon, please have a look at the links in the description and see if you want to show your appreciation and encourage our work with the show there. While the show will always be free of charge to our listeners, Patreon supporters have access to extra material such as our bonus Q&A podcast Ask for the Moon, where we discuss all topics and questions our Patreons have for us. You can even get access to the full-length, raw and unedited versions of our gaming sessions way before they are released as finished episodes. Thank you for listening. Looking forward to meeting again next week.